to today's edition of Jackie's Kitchen Confidential. And as you know, I am the lower toxic life gal. And what I like to do is showcase for you simple, easy, those aren't always the same thing, nutritious options for feeding your body in the best way possible. And so today, what I wanted to do was showcase for you some different options with sauces and more condiment style things that we use on a regular basis that quite often we don't realize are loaded with chemicals and preservatives and red dyes and a lot of the things that we're working today to get banned from our food, especially here in the United States. And some are banned around the world. So I'm going to be showcasing for you salad dressings. We're going to talk about barbecue sauce. It's one of my favorites to showcase because most people really don't realize, just for example, Kraft, one of the best-selling brands, hickory smoked barbecue sauce. The first ingredients in this is high fructose corn syrup, the number one ingredients, which is a very high glycemic load on your body. And if you're diabetic or pre-diabetic, or if you're having inflammation, if you are looking to shed some excess pounds, these are the kind of hidden derailers that I always say can really upset the apple cart, keep that weight on, keep your joints inflamed, and really, in my opinion, exacerbate some of those chronic conditions that we're often experiencing. So if you can get rid of these and make it very simple, why not do it? So we're going to go through salad dressings, barbecue sauce. I'm also going to talk to you about my Bloody Mary mixer, my Margarita mixer, simple syrup. I'm going to go through my coffee creamers and then my fabulous chocolate for drizzling, for coating fruits and nuts and all the good stuff. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss any of these. I go live typically every Tuesday and showcase something for you, as well as the other things that I add onto my channel, my shopping hauls, cooking shows in general, ways to reduce toxins in your personal care products, your home cleaning products, all the rest of it. So I'm not going to keep you long today. I'm just going to go through and show you some of these different options. So the first thing, as I mentioned, we're going to start with is salad dressings. Now, if you ever really look at your salad dressings, they're filled with a lot of different things. And so what I'm going to tell you first and foremost is make sure you have a blender at your home. Most of us do. A bullet, which is what I make most of my little simple sauces in, or an immersion blender works well too. So I just wanted to show you that because you can use these for almost any, you can use one of these for almost anything that you have, and or a blender, anything, a food processor, probably things you already have in your kitchen. So with our salad dressings, I always like to start with, I store everything in glass. If you have salad dressing now in your refrigerator, I recommend that you get it out and actually look at the ingredients in it right now and see some of those things. If you've watched my YouTube video here on the 5-ingredient rule, it's one of the things that I really like to adhere to as best as possible. And you can't always, but trying to buy products that are already pre-made that have 5 or fewer ingredients. And salad dressing very seldom fits that. So have a glass bottle on hand, save an old glass jar from salad dressings. This is my salad dressing that's already pre-made, one that I've been using, and you can see this is just a reusable bottle that I got with something else. Now, the beauty of salad dressings is it's so simple to make just a small amount or a large amount to feed a crowd. I have made salad dressing for 40 people before, and I've made it for one, just myself. So the secret with salad dressing is that the 2 primary ingredients, which you will know if you've ever done olive oil and balsamic, it's the oil that you use and the vinegar that you use. So you have a lot of different options with your vinegars. Here I have an organic balsamic vinegar, Kirkland brand from Trader Joe's. I have an organic red wine vinegar. I also keep white vinegar because depending on the salad dressing recipes, and again, go to recipes.lowertoxiclife.com. You will find all of my recipes there on my blog and easily accessible. Coconut aminos. These are organic coconut aminos from Trader Joe's. I use those quite often. So first you have your vinegars, and then you're going to select your oils. I typically use either avocado oil, extra virgin pure organic olive oil, or I'll use coconut oil, which I don't have here. So those are the two things, and you mix those equal parts. Equal parts. So if you use a third of a cup of vinegar, you're going to do a third of a cup of oil. And from there, the sky is truly the limit. Interestingly, Kroger's brand of horseradish mustard, I was pretty impressed. It has vinegar, water, mustard seeds, salt, horseradish powder, which could be sketchy, and red pepper. But so again, look at your mustards. So depending on what you want, if you want a honey mustard, if you want a little bit of a mustard taste, so mustard is an option. Fresh squeezed lemon is an option. Certainly garlic. And then if you want to do a sweetener, there's organic honey. That's what this is. Or use liquid stevia. Try to avoid sugars. This is the organic liquid stevia from Trader Joe's. Not everybody can use stevia, and it's not a license to kill, if you will. It doesn't mean you can just go crazy because it is a more natural form of sugar. You still want to use it sparingly, but everything's going to be to taste. And then, of course, your seasonings. Now, I will tell you, I typically, with these, I will do a tablespoon. I will do these equal also. So if I'm doing like a honey mustard, I'll start with my base, and I'll add anywhere from a teaspoon to a tablespoon in equal parts. So I would put in the mustard, and then I would add the honey to that. And then from there, I just pulsate it in my bullet, and then I taste it. Does it need a little, and then I'll put, like my stevia. Well, in this I mentioned the honey, whatever it is. What does it exactly need? Oh, a little bit more garlic, a little bit more salt, a little bit more pepper. The nice thing is, like so many things, you almost can't screw it up because you can always add your vinegar and your oil so that you make sure that you can, compensate if you oversalt it or oversweet it or over mustard it or overpower it in some way like that. So those are the simple tricks to salad dressing. You can keep balsamic and olive oil or any type of oil always on hand, and most of the rest of this you will have in your pantry or cabinet in some capacity. So that's our salad dressings. All right, moving on to my next favorite, as I mentioned, the barbecue sauce. Now, barbecue sauce is pretty simple, and I actually wrote out the recipe for you. And again, this recipe will be at recipes.lowertoxiclife.com. But it's very, very simple. It looks like a lot. You can see that long list of ingredients, but really and truly, again, most of this is stuff that you're going to have on hand anyway. So it calls for 8 ounces of tomato sauce. Now, I will tell you, I hardly ever keep tomato sauce on hand. I don't do it anymore because I typically keep organic tomato paste. And when you really think about it, what is tomato sauce? It's basically just tomato paste with water added to it. So I like to keep organic tomato paste because I can use it in so many recipes. I can use it in my tomato basil soup. I use it in my barbecue sauce. I use it in my Bloody Mary mixer, which I'm going to show here also. But just adding a little bit of water down to the consistency of tomato sauce essentially makes it tomato sauce. Now, I also got out here my organic diced tomatoes, which I could blend those up and make my own tomato sauce too. So that's just a little tip for you as you are making these recipes and looking through your pantry and thinking, oh my gosh, I can't make this today. I don't have tomato sauce. Yes, you can. 8 ounces of tomato sauce, 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. So honestly, this entire can would probably make exactly what you need for a large amount of barbecue sauce. So we've got our tomato sauce, tomato paste, and then from there, again, we are going to use our vinegars. So apple cider vinegar, I like to use the organic, raw, and unfiltered that has the quote-unquote mother in it. Sorry, my dog is nosing around here. Hopefully he doesn't knock all the stands. But organic vinegar, and that's 2 tablespoons. And again, most of the rest of this is easy, equal parts. And like anything, it's not perfection. You don't have to follow this exactly to get it right. And now this calls for 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. I personally wouldn't use brown sugar. I would use either stevia. This is a powdered organic stevia from Trader Joe's. Or I would use monk fruit sugar. Okay, a little bit of monk fruit sugar. Again, a lower glycemic index, not a license to go crazy, but a great alternative for what you might be doing. And then from there, you just get creative. You can put paprika. It calls for paprika. It calls for Worcestershire sauce. It calls for garlic powder, onion powder. And this is a fabulous blue cheese mustard that Trader Joe's does not have all the time. They have it typically during the holidays, which is when I scored this. So I'll be putting that in there. Calls for molasses. And then again, your seasonings, garlic powder, cayenne pepper, and onion powder. And freshly cracked pepper and salt. And again, all of those are to taste. Same exact thing with barbecue sauce. You throw it all in your blender, you blend it up, and then you can, again, just store it in a simple jar that you already have and use accordingly. Now, because it doesn't have preservatives, I like to use it up pretty quickly. But again, like so many things, you can actually freeze your barbecue sauce, especially if you're going to use it for basting on, a steak or chicken or something as you cook it. You can definitely use the frozen for that. You don't want to freeze it too long if you're going to like set it out to use actually as a sauce, because it won't maintain quite the same taste and consistency. But again, test it, try it, and see what works for you. So that's our barbecue sauce. Now, I hosted my New Year's Day brunch for 43 people, which went amazing. And one of my goals was to do a Bloody Mary bar. And I did a Bloody Mary bar, and I thought, I don't want to buy Bloody Mary mixer. One of the reasons is because I had a number of people who are celiac, and often Bloody Mary mixer has, I can't even remember what the ingredient is, but it has gluten in it. And so that's kind of one of those hidden derailers that someone who's celiac may not know, and they could have a reaction. So when I'm entertaining and I have my guests who I know have gluten sensitivities or who are celiac, I make sure I avoid that. So I found a very simple Bloody Mary mixer, and you can actually find this again, recipes.lowertoxiclife.com. Just type in Bloody Mary in the search bar and it'll show it, because earlier in January, I did my mocktails for Dryuary. I did my live on that, and I included that recipe. So it's right there today, right now, for you to grab. But it's simple too. 6 ounces of tomato paste, 3.5 cups of water, your Worcestershire sauce, I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, Worcestershire sauce, and then hot sauce, whichever kind you like, Cholula, whatever hot sauce you have. I'm in the Southwest, I'm in Scottsdale. We use hot sauce like it's water almost around here, but just a little bit of hot sauce to add to that, some chopped garlic, and then your celery sauce, your onion powder. Then from there, it's all the spices, some fresh squeezed lemon juice, lime juice, and then of course the secret weapon in Bloody Mary mixer is your horseradish sauce. And this is extra hot. It's Beaver brand, and same thing. Like, I scouted this out very quickly or very thoroughly, I should say, to look at the ingredients to see exactly what is in it. And I'm probably going to have to get my cheaters to read that, but it is gluten-free, and that was the most important thing for me for my guests. And then dill, and then of course, like anything else, if you're doing Dryuary, you can add a alcohol-free vodka. We made Bloody Marys and Bloody Marias, which are made with tequila. You can do that with non-alcoholic liquor or alcoholic liquor, whatever is your poison. Pick your poison. For my brunch, because I have so many of these, I served them in little Moscow Mule cups, and look at that. I put my wine charms on them so that people could remember which one was theirs. Now, I'm wearing my Valentine's Day attire because as I'm filming this, it's February 11th, and I'm hosting a Galentine's Day brunch on February 13th for all my gal pals, and we'll be having some fun with beverage wear as well. So I keep those little charms on there. And that's really it. So the Bloody Mary mixer. Now, last week on my live video, I showcased tomato basil soup, and interestingly, one of the things I had about, I don't know, somewhere around 32 ounces, give or take, of probably more like 24 ounces of Bloody Mary mixer left over. I froze it, and then I got it out and I used it in my tomato basil soup, because what is it but all the things that go in my tomato basil soup already but a little spicier, and it was fantastic. You'll find that over on my blog as well. You can go to recipes.lowertoxiclife.com. You will find that, click on blog, and you can scroll through there and see all of the other cooking shows, the recipes, and all of that. So that's the Bloody Mary mixer. Because I choose to live healthier, one of the things that I really eliminate from my diet as much as possible, I'm not a purist. I'm a 90-10 girl, so 90% of the time I try to be very pristine. 10% of the time I throw caution to the wind. Occasionally, a day or a month comes along where it's 80-20, but you do you. But I know that if I reduce some of these hidden derailers, like I'm talking about in these sauces and condiments and mixers, I can really live a longer, healthier life, and more than anything, feel better while I'm doing that. So the next thing I wanted to showcase for you is my Margarita mix, or really any kind of mixer that you might want to incorporate into your fun time. So one of the things that I discovered, first of all, I've learned to add some electrolytes to anytime I'm drinking, which is very seldom these days, but if I am, I always add electrolytes into my beverage. So one of the things that I use for Margarita mix now, instead of using any of those Margarita mixers, which again, if you turn them over and you read the label, they are most often high fructose corn syrup and also very often very sugar filled. Okay, so again, I start with coconut water. I love coconut water. I can drink it all day long. So coconut water, one of my secret elixirs, which I also did showcase in my mocktails video, which again is here on YouTube, and it's also on my blog. I love this organic bergamot, these little shots. They're pure juice shots. You can order them off of Amazon. They are not cheap. They're $4 for a 2-ounce container. But honestly, when you think about it, it's like sunken cost. If you go out and order a margarita, you're going to pay anywhere from $12 to $16, typically, at least here in Arizona. And so it only needs about a half a shot, a third to a half a shot. So this will really stretch and go a long way. And it gives a little bit of extra zing, and it's healthy as well. So I will mix my coconut water, my bergamot shot, but even if I excluded that, then the next thing that I do is I do fresh squeezed juices. Now this is actually a grapefruit. It's small and it's different looking, but here in Arizona where we grow citrus, these are off of my girlfriend's tree, all of these. So you can see they're not super pretty, my limes, but they're organic, they're homegrown, and they're fabulous. So I will do a mixture in my margarita, a little bit of grapefruit juice or orange, if you like that, some lemon, and then of course, plenty of squozed lime. Now from there, if you want it a little sweeter, these are little monk fruit drops that you can actually carry with you. And then, of course, I have my liquid stevia that I mentioned, or a powdered stevia. But I find the liquids work a little better in the juices. So I just, again, do that to taste. Now, I'm going to let you in on a little secret, too. I will mix up all of my mix, carry it in my stainless steel bottle, supporting my Marine Corps son. I will mix it up in my stainless steel bottle, the mixer. And then if you're going out to a fabulous Mexican dinner or just to the bar or whatever, carry this in with you. Order a shot of tequila, maybe your Grand Marnier too, if you want to make it a Cadillac margarita. I'll carry my electrolytes with me. Then you can just ask them for a margarita, a tequila shot, and or whatever else you want, and a glass of ice. I always like to still have fun with my barware, even if I'm just drinking a mocktail. A glass of ice, you can pour the tequila on, and then I just simply shake up my mixer that I brought with me, and I pour it into my glass. No one has ever objected because I'm ordering something from them. I'm ordering the alcohol from them, but I'm still setting myself up for success to feel better and make some healthy options. And then, of course, make sure that you are drinking water, 1 8-ounce glass of water, ideally, with every cocktail that you drink. So that is the margarita mixer. Now, I also mentioned simple syrup. Simple syrups are those things that are often used to sweeten drinks and quite often cocktails, but other things as well. And if you learn how to make simple syrup, it's kind of funny. You can buy it at the store and it's very, very costly and expensive. But if you actually Google it, you will find that it's strictly sugar and water. It's the sugar melted down in the water. And so again, if you want to make your own, just a small amount, use some monk fruit sugar. Okay, that's even better than buying a simple syrup. And it will last a long time. So you can make a batch of that, store it in your refrigerator, and it will keep for a really long time for you to use on those special occasions, whatever those may be. All right, so that's the simple syrup. And then the next thing moving along is I talked about coffee creamers. This was my favorite. I'm not really a coffee drinker except for my bulletproof coffee, which I've showcased before, and it's on my blog. I call it my Fat Blaster Brain Booster Coffee. But one of the things that I wanted to do was help my daughter, who does love creamer. And so it's very, very simple to make your own with 3 ingredients. I use full fat coconut cream, or you can use coconut milk, either one. Mix that up. I just get that out and I mix it up. Again, you can do it in a bullet. And then you're going to add in a little bit of pure vanilla extract, or you can add in some vanilla bean paste if you like. These are all healthy alternatives. And then again, you're just going to sweeten it to taste with what you want. Liquid stevia. I like to use my local raw honey. And you'll see this, starting in February, local honey is great for alleviating allergies. Go to citations.lowertoxiclife.com and you'll find the research on that. But I use this because the experts say never dip a metal spoon into honey. I don't know, it has some kind of reactive thing. I haven't researched that a lot, but I have this fun little wooden knife that came with something, and I'll just reach down in there to use it. I have one of those little honeycomb things too, but I will reach into this every morning and put about a teaspoon, 1.5 teaspoons of this in my mouth, and it alleviates my allergies. I no longer fight with allergies here in Arizona during allergy season. That's just a hidden bonus. But I put that in my creamer, and this is what it looks like. It's already pre-made. I just store it in this. It looks kind of messy, but it's fabulous. And then you just pour in exactly what you want in the coffee, and it's great. Again, you can add in any spices you want. I've got nutmeg. I've got cinnamon. You could I would look around if you wanted to make it hazelnut or some of those kind of things. Fortunately, we just do vanilla. That's fine for our family. We're just kind of vanilla that way. But if you wanted to add in some of those other flavors to enrich things, you can definitely do that. Again, be very careful though. One of the things that I teach everyone to avoid is natural flavoring. Again, go to citations.lowertoxiclife.com. You'll see the research and data on natural flavorings. There's really no regulation on that whatsoever, and it is often filled with an ungodly amount of chemicals and toxins. And again, we're just trying to lower some of that toxic overload that we continually put into our bodies that over time make us kind of, overflow with inflammation, weight retention, poor sleep, hormone disruptors, a lot of that kind of stuff. So the more precautions you can take to eliminate that easily and simply, the better it is. And then the final thing I wanted to showcase for you is my chocolate sauce that I absolutely love. I've shown this before. And again, for my Galentine's Day brunch coming up, I'm making some treats. This is simply 85% cacao chocolate with a little bit of coconut oil to kind of cut it and make it a little creamier. You melt that. You can do it in the microwave. You can do it in a double boiler. And then you just coat whatever you want. You can just dip in there whatever you want. I'm going to be making covered nuts, which these are pistachios, organic raw pistachios. And then I also have macadamia nuts. I also do pecans, so it's kind of like almost like turtles. And then dipped fruit. So I've got my organic strawberries. There are a few fruits that I only buy organic. Strawberries and blueberries are one of them. So I've got my organic blueberries and my organic strawberries that are going to go right into that and make a delicious chocolate treat. One of the things that I'm making is my charcuterie board style decadent chocolate for Galentine's and then Valentine's Day. So make sure, again, you're subscribed to the channel. I'm creating a whole video on that, so you'll be able to see that after we've done the event and I've been able to film that. So again, all of these contain ingredients that you likely already have in your pantry, in your refrigerator, or can have and stock and store quite easily. Just kind of recapping here, most of us already have vinegar, mustard, honey, and an oil. Okay, and then we have plenty of spices for our salad dressing. Barbecue sauce, again, simple things: tomato paste, apple cider vinegar, molasses. That might not be something that you keep. I do because I use it in a lot of different things, and because I make barbecue sauce pretty regularly, it's perfect for that. And it lasts quite a long time. Your mustards, again, we already talked about that. Worcestershire sauce, easy for you to say, that's a tongue twister. And then again, all your spices, paprika, and so on. And all of these same things are exactly what go in the Bloody Mary mixer. I didn't mention garlic, but garlic is on there. Lemons, again, these are all things that you probably already keep. One of the things that you might not keep, but I recommend that you do, is coconut cream or coconut milk. I prefer the Trader Joe's brand because it is nothing but coconuts. It's organic, and when you look at the ingredients, it says organic coconut and water. That's it. Okay, just a little bit of water in the coconut cream. I have found, like the Sprouts brand, it has one or two added ingredients that I just don't want. So you have to, again, shop around, learn how to read labels. Make sure you grab my label reading guide at lowertoxiclife.com. Grab that so that you are in the know. So you can print that, take it with you to the grocery store. There's also a grocery shopping list included in that. But then you will be able to learn how to read labels, spot those bad boys, and again, lower those things that are creating that inflammation, creating so many of those things in our lives that we don't really want. So there you have it. Those are some sauce alternatives, condiment alternatives, and definitely the coffee creamer alternatives, because coffee creamer, like the French vanilla by Coffee Mate and some of those bigger name brands that are out there, are absolutely nothing but a chemical toxic soup. So you want to move yourself away from those. And same with some of the oat creamers. Now, I'm not going to say that they're all bad, but I know for me, a lot of times oats, if they're not done properly, can be moldy. These are some of the hidden things that we don't often know. Oats and oat milk became this huge, big craze. And I know for me, I don't do well with oats. I always say we're all bio-individual. You do you. You have to kind of hack your own body, eat or consume something, and then wait for about 30 minutes, set your timer, and then when your timer goes off, ask yourself, how does my body feel? How does my stomach feel? Is it rumbling? Am I getting bloated? Am I feeling different things? Am I feeling inflamed? What about my brain? Like all of a sudden, do I feel tired, lethargic? Am I having a hard time thinking? A lot of those kind of things. That's the best way to begin to body or biohack yourself to determine what's going to be right for you. Okay, so that's today's show. Please leave me any comments. Have you done any of these? Have you tried any of these? Do you think you will? Do you have a recipe we all need to know about? Share that in the comments below. Like the video, subscribe to my channel, pass it on to anyone who might benefit from this. I will not be here next week, February 18th. I will be in Salt Lake, so we'll be dark, but I will have some other videos up for you that you can watch and educate yourself on and have fun with. And then I will be back in 2 weeks, and I'm trying to think, we're doing healthy breakfast on the go. So I'm going to take you through a whole variety of breakfasts that you can make so that you can prep on Sundays or whatever day you prep. For me, I'm a Sunday afternoon prep gal. You can get all that stuff ready for yourself, your spouse, your children, whatever, so that all week long you have great healthy breakfast options so you start your day right. They say the breakfast of champions, that is not cereal. They also say breakfast is the most important day of the meal. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. And while that's true, again, that's not Kellogg's cereal. They're the ones that took that verbiage and made it a marketing slogan and got people to think that they needed to get up and eat their Wheaties or whatever breakfast cereal. But I want to set you up for a day of success. All right. Thanks so much for being here today. I know you have a lot of things you could be doing, and I appreciate you being here, spending the time with me. I will see you on the channel, around the nets, and on the next Jackie's Kitchen Confidential live cooking show.